All right, all right. We got some technical difficulties, but I think we're doing. YouTube is just not going to work today. Um, because of Patreon, I tried to. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not working. Stupid. YouTube's stupid, anyways. Thank y'all for joining in. Thank y'all. It's been a great day. How you been doing? How you doing? Roberto, thank you for joining in on the stream. 17-0. Green Bay Packers pitch a shutout. I was hoping there'd be some kind of cool stat, like we haven't done that since forever. But stupid 2018 got in the way. We actually shut out the Buffalo Bills 22-0. The last time before that was 2010. So, still kind of cool, I guess. Also, the last time the Seahawks have been shut out, week 2 of 2011. So, Russell Wilson has never been shut out, as Roberto said. First time Russell shut down. Brandon says Joe Barry Coach of the Year. Hey, the cough. I should have got a cough drop. I'll see if I can text my kid to have him bring me one. Aaron Jones' injury is bad, but the Gary injury has me legit concerned. All that nervousness aside, great shutout win. Yeah, we might as well get the bad news out of the way. Where's my wife here? Oh, she's apparently I haven't talked to her in a while. She's down the list. The Aaron Jones injury, they're saying they think it's a sprained MCL, which doesn't really give us much information. Might be done for the year, might not be done for the year, I don't know. But they have to do further tests. It may be more severe, it may be less severe. So at this point, it could be we avoided a disaster and he'll be back in a week or two. It could be he's down and out. It certainly doesn't look good. They didn't give him any good news. We know that much. Rashawn Gary, when they're saying they said they didn't show us the replay because it was too gruesome. Dude, we saw the replay. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't need that cough drop. Because I don't want to be coughing on this thing all day. But we saw the replay. It was pretty gruesome. It looks like his arm got straight up dislocated. He's probably going to be out for a while. But, no sense speculating at this point. We'll see how it goes. I don't want to sit here and scream and cry about how horrible something is, and it turns out that it's not as bad as we thought. But obviously those are some pretty major blows. Not to diminish Aaron Jones, but yeah, I think the Rashawn Gary is more severe just because the massive drop off, how talented Rashawn is. He's a huge piece of this defense, and if he does go down for a significant period of time, we're gonna need Za'Darius to hurry up and come back. As Eric says, can we go a week without a major injury or an injury to a major piece? No, apparently we can't. And it's the upsetting thing about it. Again, we'll get the negative out of the way right away. So get all your negative stuff in now, because I don't want to sit here and whine and cry about a 17-0 win the whole time. But it feels horrible because you know that this team is good enough. I mean, the offense obviously weren't able to get things going. I'm blaming that on Rodgers being down for a week. He had no practice. He came back Saturday. You would think it doesn't make any difference, but look at week 1, right? Didn't play all preseason. I spent the whole time saying, so what? Who cares? They don't need practice. They don't need preseason, and they played like complete garbage. Apparently they do. Plus, this is the team that can never win coming out of a bye week. So if they take time off, they're just kind of a bad football team. That's my excuse for that. But either way, just look at the defense. This is what this team has always needed, was a dominant defense that can shut out the Seahawks. What have they done? If I can recently hear. Oh, this cough is. It's been like 2 weeks I've had a cough. No, I don't have COVID. Sorry to disappoint you. I wish I did. I could say I have something cool and probably get some time off work, but nope, just an annoying cough. So they had 0 points allowed this game, 13 points, 21 points, 10 points, 14 points, 22 points, 17 points, 28 and 17. So 28 was like the biggest, worst blowout this defense has seen aside from week 1. 28 points. That's ridiculous. I mean, they were already the sixth overall defense with that 38-point game mixed in there, and they pitched a shutout in this game. This is without a doubt a top 5 defense, and it's really not even close right now. The offense is struggling, right? They scored 17, the week before that 7, 24, 24, 24, 25, 27. I mean, they haven't reached 30 points since week 3. So the offense is not good enough, but The team definitely is. It's just a matter of getting things clicking a little bit better. You look at any one facet. Well, is Rodgers playing poorly? No, he's still Rodgers. Is Devontae playing poorly? No. I do think we're struggling to see other people step up. Alan Lazard, I thought, had a pretty terrible game. Not that any of those catches were easy ones, but you'd like him to catch at least one. But everything is working. It's just little stuff that, the offensive line is not quite good enough in run blocking. And there's, Royce is horrible and a couple other people with the pass blocking. It's kind of iffy. Again, the wide receivers, you just wish everything had just a half a step more, but nothing's terrible. Even during this game, you look at it and go like, what is just broken? Well, nothing. Everything's kind of working, but you get a penalty and you're behind the sticks and then you run and it's only a 1 yard gain, which happens all the time. And you throw an incompletion on 3rd and 19. Like, I don't know what to say. I mean, stuff happens. It's not like this team is trash as a result, right? That doesn't make any sense. I got to stop taking deep breaths. Ooh. Nobody saw my message, I'm guessing, right? Where's my cough drop? Of course, I'm not going to read my messages. That's fine. All right, what else we got in the comments section here? Eric says, love to see Dylan do his thing. Yeah, man, I don't really like doing this so much, but there's a lot of people that like to run their mouth constantly. And that draft class in particular, there was a lot of people running their mouth about how bad that like the worst draft class of all time. A.J. Dillon was drafted like 2 rounds too early. He's not that good. Jordan Love was trash. Everybody we picked was just the worst pick in the world, right? Before anybody saw anybody play. Why would you draft A.J. Dillon? Well, a bunch of those people are trying to walk it back now. Like, well, no. It was just because we took any running back. That's not true. People were trashing A.J. Dillon. Those receipts are out there. And I don't want to be that guy that just starts doing that. But at the same time, these people are so loud. The anti-Goot Packer fans, just constantly whining, constantly complaining. All they do all day long is slap people in the face all day long, whine and complain, and I can't say the words, but you get what I'm saying. Every opportunity you get, you should punch them right in the mouth because they deserve it. They're obnoxious and they're horrible and they drive me crazy. Where are they? You're asking me questions I can't answer. By the medicine? I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't even know where I am right now. Ask me where it is. Defense is legit and more enjoyable to watch than the offense. Well, there's no question about that. I still can't wrap my head around that. Can you hand that to me, please? Is that for me? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
What?
Cough drop season. I still can't wrap my head around it because every game I'm going into it thinking we're not going to be able to maintain this. There's no way, Eric Stokes and Rasul Douglas and, our pass rushers are all hurt. And there's no Jair. And, come on, Devondre's not going to stay at this high of a level all year long. There's just no way. This thing's about to fall apart, and they get better every week. I keep expecting this big switch to happen, or at least hoping there's a big switch and not just the offense doesn't really pick it up and the defense stays good. It never happens. But yeah, the offense does need to pick it up at least a little bit. If we don't reach 30 points anytime soon, it's not super great. All right. Defense is looking good. How will the loss of Merciless and Gary affect things next week? Yeah, that's right. Merciless kind of hurt. That one could be serious too, but again, no sense speculating. We'll see what happens. But it's an obvious answer to a pretty obvious question. What do you do when you lose Za'Darius and Whitney Merciless and Rashawn Gary, and you're left with Preston and Garvin and basically nobody else? It sucks, like a lot. I don't know what else to say. Brandon says Gary might be able to play in a cast. I don't know anything about that, but I guess. If it's his shoulder, what's he going to play? Enough like a full... He can't move his arm? How does that work? Maybe a sling or something? That wouldn't make sense. You can't do that. I don't know. Whatever. I won't doubt you. We'll see how it goes. Eric says, I think it just needs to snow every time. Last time Dylan had this good of a game, it snowed. That's true. That dude is just a monster in the snow. I don't know what it is. It just awakens something in him. Because and that's the thing. It wasn't just like, well, he had holes this week. No, he didn't. He didn't have anywhere to go. He had nowhere to go. I've never seen him with that much power before. I mean, we saw the speed on display, we saw a lot of different things, but one of the complaints I have is that he's a little bit too upright of a runner. Man, there was one play, I think it was one of the touchdown runs, or at least at the goal line somewhere. He got down, like his shoulder was almost touching the ground, and then his legs started driving, and he just pushed the pile. I mean, that's the kind of thing where you're going to see some serious power. Ah, yes. Coffee and cough drops. Breakfast of champions. Just imagine all the reserve guys in the stable that could potentially be coming back in the next several weeks. Well, that's what I mean. We need them. We absolutely, at this point, at the very least, Za'Darius has to come back. And yeah, it is. It's disappointing because you know that this is the team that can get you there. And if we keep losing key pieces like this, I mean, at some point you can't win, right? At some point there's the straw that broke the camel's back. So we got to. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like there's nobody to blame. Who do you blame for this? Rashawn Gary got his arm caught and then fell forward and snapped his arm out of his socket. Like that's not. It's not the training staff. I mean, there's just freak accidents, man. Chet says DB's played fantastic. I just don't get it, man. They're so good. There were so many. What was that one play? It was on the final drive. I don't know exactly which one, but Russell Wilson was scrambling around for what must have been 12 seconds, and he had nowhere to throw the ball. That's impossible. Amos had basically 3 picks in the game. He caught one of them. One of them, Savage basically smacked out of his hand because he was right there too. Not mad at Savage, but there you go. The other one was, I think, just another like 50-50 ball. He kind of just went up, almost got it. Kevin King comes out with a pick. He almost dropped it, but hey, kudos to Kevin King for actually catching one of these interceptions. Been a long time coming for him. I know he had that one year where he had a bunch, but it seems like every time he gets his hand on one, he drops it now. But yeah, I mean, Rasul Douglas was fantastic in this game. I mean, Stokes, you just didn't hear his name, which is what you want from a DB. He had the one big pass breakup coming back. I think he might have given up 1 or 2 or something, but I mean, it just nobody had a bad. The only thing I can remember is that one play. I don't remember if it was Rasul Douglas or Sullivan, but coming across the middle of the field, DK Metcalf, which you got one-on-one against one of the bigger, faster guys in the NFL. He lost a foot race to DK Metcalf. Okay, sorry. Sucks to be you, I guess. Nathan says, release the receipts. Yeah, man, I mean, I'm not going to do it, but somebody should do it. Somebody should just be putting these people out. Because, you know what? Because people need to stop doing that. People just need to stop being the kind of person when somebody drafts somebody, you throw a fit. Why? You don't know anything about, I watched his tape. Shut up. Just shut up. You watched his tape. Like anybody cares. First of all, Gutekunst watched the tape. You know more than Gutekunst? No? Oh, okay. All right. Maybe wait then. Maybe wait. See what happens. It's crazy. Because, what's his name? Because some loser analyst who doesn't know what he's doing told you that so-and-so is a great player, and you believe him, and Gutekunst is like, actually, he's wrong. This is a better player. We're going to take him. And you're like, oh, that's not true. That's Matt, what's the stupid Bleacher Report guy? Matt something. I don't know why I can't think of his name. He told me that you should take this guy. I don't know. Stupid. What I saw from King had a good game. That's a relief. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see King at all, which, again, is a great day. He had the pick. I don't remember him giving up a single reception outside of those couple quick throws in the flat, which if you can even call that giving up a reception, I don't think you can. The pack child, that was the pack child. You're right, that was my daughter. Coming in the clutch. Eric says Crosby, who we draft, and yeah, dude, that's getting ugly. And as much as I really want to just keep blaming the snapper and the holder, and it makes sense. I mean, we went out and got a new punter who's holding, and we got a new snapper, so the operation is a problem. But I didn't see anything wrong with that. And what was that, like a 25-yard kick? I mean, come on, man. And he just shanked the heck out of that. I don't know. It's pretty ugly. Goose says, I'm late because no notifications. This defense is legit. Love this team. Dylan is a truck. So sad about Gary and Jones, though. By the way, shutout. Because we're Packer fans, I don't know. Maybe, teams that have good defenses and are used to being a team with good defenses and stuff, maybe this isn't true for you, but as a Packer fan, the way I think defense works is you stop them on basically maybe 2 drives. And if the team doesn't score, you basically lost the game. Because it's like, all right, we can't hold them for 3 drives. And I was doing that the whole game. Like, okay, well, we can't do it for 4 drives. Well, I mean, come on now. We can't stop them 5 drives. I mean, we can't stop them an entire half. Well, we can't stop them an entire third quarter. Because eventually the dam's going to break. And at some point, it's not even just because I'm a Packer fan. It's just basic football stuff. They're going to score eventually. But I can't. I don't want to say I don't respect the defense. I just can't wrap my head around any defense being this good, but especially a Packers defense. I mean, come on. I'm not alone in that, am I? A Packers defense is that good? That's a little crazy. I got some thank yous here. I got to minimize this so I can see. I can't really see anything. Thank you to Jacob, Justin, Chad, Scott, Eric, Wayne, Chet, Drew, Chris, Garrett, Ryan, my wife, and Andrew for liking the stream. Thank you all very much for liking that. I wish I can get this up on YouTube, but I'm a dummy and that doesn't work. So it's a Facebook-only day today. Forget those people. Should be over here on Facebook anyways. Where are we at? Yeah, I don't think I need to cover anything else. We've kind of covered that. Kurt says, late to the party. Did you know you're not on YouTube right now? I did. Yeah, so I was playing with some of the settings because I wanted to go on Patreon, and I have to set on here my software to private. So I did that. I streamed everywhere. I shared it everywhere, and then I canceled the stream so I could change the setting from private to public. I did that, and apparently it switched itself back because it's not working again. So forget it. YouTube is just dead to me, I guess. Who cares? YouTube is stupid. I've lost so many subscribers on. I don't have the time or the energy. By the way, patreon.com/pack_daddy. If you'd like me to be on YouTube more often, help me quit my job. Anthony says, Metcalf is scum. Super happy we didn't pick him up after the draft now. Low character dude. I was actually really mad at first because they didn't say he was ejected. And I'm like, come on, you can't just call offsetting penalties. I understand how offsetting penalties work, but if you grab 2 guys' face masks and punch another guy in the face, you should be ejected. And the ref never said it. Nobody ever said it. And after I threw a little temper tantrum about it, I see on the bottom it says ejected. Apparently they never told DK Metcalf either because he ran back onto the field, which was ridiculous that everybody's making a joke about it like he tried to sneak on. Like, dude, who told him? Literally nobody said it. The ref never said it. He just said offsetting penalties is all he said. But I'm glad we got that right. By the way, I think that might have started because of 26. I think it was Savage. Because DK was walking away, and then he turned around and beelined. I think it might have been to Savage. Long story short, Savage took a penalty to get DK ejected. Well done. Nathan says, AJ Snowplow Dillon. There's no doubt about that. Guy is just kills it in the snow. Brandon says, PFF better grade the defense better this week. Yeah, I mean, I never know what they're going to do, but I understand not everybody needs to have 90 overall grades in order to have an overall good defensive performance. But at some point, again, like we talked about with the DBs, nobody's open, right? Well, I shouldn't even necessarily say it. There were a lot of wide open guys that, for example, Russell either didn't pull the trigger because pressure was there, didn't pull the trigger because he didn't see him, or he just completely overshot the guy. By the way, some of those picks are near picks. That guy was open for 13 seconds. I mean, come on. Why do you have to rainbow every throw out there and let our DBs catch up? But some people should definitely be having some good grades. Garrett says it was a win, but at what cost? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, what can you do about it? I don't know what you can do about it other than just celebrate and move on. Every time there's an injury, we act like the season's over, right? Oh, we lost Zadarius, the season's over. No, it's not. We lost David Bakhtiari, the season's over. No, it's not. We lost, I don't know if I said Jair yet, but when we lost Jair, well, our DBs are going to be trash. We're better than they've ever been with Jair. Not saying that's Jair's fault, but we're better than we've ever been with Jair or without Jair or with Jair. Again, there's no point in trying to figure out how this is going to make us horrible in the future. Let's get the news first, take it a piece at a time, move along. I don't know what else to do. Greg says knee-jerk draft pick reactions are the best knee-jerk reactions. And that's the thing. Listen, I have knee-jerk reactions. I didn't like the Love pick at all. I didn't like the Dillon pick at all. I didn't like the DeGuara pick at all. I didn't like any picks in that draft. But to run on Twitter and actually have a record that says something so stupid as I have an opinion that says this person's never going to be good at football based on almost no information and giving this guy not even 30 seconds of an opportunity to learn anything or prove anything is such a weird thing. It's kind of similar to like when the Packers go 3 and out on the first drive and some people go on Twitter and say something like, this is trash, this game is over, I can't believe how horrible this is. Or when the other team goes up 7-0 and people just lose their mind like, well, this is a loss. I feel that in my soul, but you got to be smarter than that, man. You got to know. And that's the thing. After that, the Packers come back and win. Everybody's celebrating, and what are you doing? Nobody's going to let you celebrate because everybody's going to look at what you did. They're going to be trashing you, cold takes, you're an idiot, how do you feel now, dummy? And instead of celebrating like everyone, you're sitting there trying to explain why you are justified and throwing a temper tantrum with 5 minutes gone in the first quarter. Just relax. Just relax. Let's just see how things pan out, all right? Let's see if A.J. Dillon can play football. Oh, look, he's great. It was a great pick. So there was no reason to freak out. All right. A lot of thank yous here. Kurt, Andy, and Brandon, thank you guys so much for liking the stream. Really appreciate that. Brandon says, and how many people bashed the Gary draft pick and now freaking out he's injured? Yeah, I mean, there's people that still bash Gary. In fact, this is the first week. What's the guy's name? So I've got one Mr. Negative on Facebook, one Mr. Negative on Twitter, and one Mr. Negative on YouTube. Where's he at? Adam on Twitter. He, to this day, if they go 3 quarters and Rashawn Gary doesn't have a sack, he'll send a message on Twitter about how trash he is. This is the first game he didn't do that. Probably because he realizes every time he does that he sounds stupid because he's been wrong about Gary this whole time. But now he just moves on to new stuff. Same with every other Mr. Negative. When their negative takes are wrong, they're not happy. They just find something else to be negative about. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's so weird. The first thing he says to me, I thought Amari Rodgers was supposed to be fast. What is what does that mean? I don't understand what you're talking about. What does Amari Rodgers have to do with anything? I don't even get it. So I don't know, man. There's just some people that thrive on that. This sort of nothing is up to my standards. Okay. At Lou says when David B returns, who gets the boot? Lou, is that you? Are you Mr. Negative on Twitter? Just curious. I think Royce goes. Royce goes instantly. I don't know exactly what the shuffling is. My personal preference, if at all possible, David Bakhtiari is at left tackle. Elton Jenkins moves to right tackle. Billy Turner kicks into right guard, replacing Royce Newman. That guy's got to go. He's been one of the worst offensive linemen in football every single week this entire season. Eric says, you think Rodgers looked rusty? A little bit. I think so. I mean, again, there was a lot of stuff, drop passes and stuff, but some of those throws were a little bit off target. Some of the decisions weren't great, but again, I just chalked that up to he took a week off and it had a little bit of, I think, quite honestly, kudos to the Seattle defense. I think Seattle played a game that made us almost be, those defenses sometimes you play where you have to play perfect, like the old Patriots. This is how the Patriots used to be. You have to play a perfectly clean game or you're not going to win. Seattle kind of made us play a perfect game, and we weren't playing perfect. Not that anything was horrifically bad, but they were just making little mistakes, and that'll kill you against a team like that. Sorry, I'm just getting into a Twitter argument. Here we go. See, and this is like the new line now. Well, I can hate a pick and still cheer for the guy. Okay, well, I'm still going to call you stupid. I mean, why do you think there's going to be no repercussions for you running your mouth about it being a bad pick? Why do you think you're just going to do that and like there should be no repercussions? Like I get to just slide in as the biggest A.J. Dillon fan in the world now. And you're not allowed to say anything about it. Dude, you suck at watching the Packers. Adam, that is you. You're watching me right now. I know you are because you're arguing with me on Twitter. You dork. You suck at watching the Packers. This is what I have to deal with. 17-0 the Packers won. 17-0 and everybody's angry. When Amari catches a punt, he does not run fast forward. Rip me as much as you want. Your 20 followers is pathetic. Okay. This is what I'm saying. He's crying all the time. This is all he does. Amari catches a punt. He doesn't run fast forward. Okay, I'm sorry. 17-0. We're all trying to have a party. He's mad because Amari doesn't run fast forward. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry about that. Adam's going to have everybody wish Adam a really, really good night tonight. He's going to be struggling to get through tonight. He's having a rough day today. Packers won 17-0, but Amari doesn't run fast forward, so he's having a bad day. So throw up a prayer for Adam. He's I don't know. Best of luck to you, Adam. It's crazy. Oh, I'm just now seeing the Gary injury. Hopefully, just a hyperextension. Sorry for the other. Imes fat fingers. That was kind of weird. Eric says, I love watching a Packers team that can tackle. What grade would you give the defensive staff for the Packers? What grade would you give the I don't know how you give anything but an A, right? I mean, I guess you could say A+. I mean, 0 points. What else could they have done better? I have no idea. TJ Slayton is having a low-key amazing rookie year. He does pop up a lot. Jacob says he's having a great year. He pops up a ton. He's getting a ton of push on those run plays. I'm seeing him in the backfield a ton. He even almost had a sack in this game. I was screaming for Kenny, get him, Kenny, get him, Kenny. And I look, I'm like, dude, that's not Kenny. I know who that is. Eric Munn says, best Lambeau leap this season, Elton Jenkins. I'll tell you what, man. A.J. Dillon is just killing those box jumps or whatever they're called. That's crazy. Did you see him? Like, he jumped, and I swear his feet almost landed on the wall. But yeah, Elton Jenkins. It's funny seeing him up there too because he wants to be a part of this, like, the scoring offense so bad. He's always talking about he wants to get a touchdown. He wants to throw the touchdown passes. He wants to catch a pass. Running back gets a touchdown. He wants to do Lambeau leaps. He's a goof. Eric says, crazy what happens when you mock the belt. I saw that. What was that, the pick? He gets up and he starts doing the belt, and it's like, why would you do that? This is a tough game. Right? This is a really difficult game, and you're losing, and your offense can't do anything, and there's a big record of people mocking the belt and just losing. And now Basarski is going to go out and update his video and just stupid. I mean, he got a pick and lost the team the game, so that's how that goes. Goose says, I don't get it, especially when Gary is such a likable guy. Hopefully, if he is done for the year, we get Z back soon. He is. And that was the other thing about Gary. And again, I didn't like the Gary pick. I didn't. I was doing a live stream of that, and I kept my head in my hands because I was expecting to not like it because I didn't want a video reaction of me, like, just getting very angry. And it was a wise decision because Gary was one of the guys that I definitely didn't want. But so what? So what? The point is, I have to tell myself and remind myself, you're an idiot. You don't know anything about drafting football players. You don't know anything about any of this stuff. You know, just because you've whipped it up in your head about, you know, all these different guys that you think are going to be great, and I really like this guy, and I'd love to have this guy. It's a game. It's a fun game that we play. But when it comes down to it, when the Packers pick somebody, that's reality. That's a team, that's a group of professionals who actually know what they're doing, who look at all of these things and come to conclusions that are actually probably more correct. So it's like, oh, wow, turns out I was wrong. That's a better player. I didn't know that. And yeah, Rashawn is fantastic. I mean, from the second we drafted him and he started crying, he's done nothing but work extremely hard. The guy does nothing but work his his heart out. That's all he does, and it just I don't know. I don't know how you continue to dislike the guy, but Adam does. But I suck at watching the Packers. He hasn't even noticed Rashawn Gary playing well. But I've been watching the wrong guys. I should have been watching Amari run forward, not fast. All right. He could be a Vikings, Bears, or Lions fan. The funny thing is, they're not. And I know that they're not because I know these types of fans, and they're all over the place. There's a lot of them in Packers universe. There just happens to be one of each thing. I don't know why. The guy on Facebook, we actually go back and forth a lot. We get into heated arguments and stuff, but it's just in good fun. He just likes to argue, and it works for me. But it just confuses me because they're so angry all the time, and I don't understand it. Like, you'll never be happy with anything ever. Anthony says big prayers for Adam. I think his name is Lou. I think that might have been him on Facebook. It says @Lou because on Twitter it says Lou 4102. So that might be him. I don't know. Disliking the selection or value of said pick does not mean disliking the player. If you like the player, why don't you like the pick? Whatever. I don't know. People are stupid. Eric says, if you remember, Dylan messed up his first leap. He had been doing those box jumps to make sure. I did remember him messing up his first one, but I mean that was the most impressive Lambeau leap I've ever seen. I mean, his shins hit the wall. It was the craziest thing. He's been really hammering those things. Goose says, I looked at all the players I liked in the last couple of drafts. I'll keep my day job. Right? And listen, I've got a decent hit rate. I mean, not horrible, but somewhat decent, but I'm still an idiot. I'm still at the level of like throwing darts, maybe a little bit better than just throwing darts. And my track record is not as good as Brian Gutekunst's. So, again, it's fun. It's fun to figure these things out and play around and pretend we know stuff and like guys and dislike guys, but we have to disconnect that once they make the pick. Disconnect the fact that I didn't like them in the process. Wait and see why the Pack. I mean, they did it for a reason. They've watched way more film. Their scouts have met this guy in person. They've watched him in person. They've worked out with him in person. They've met with him in person. They've talked to their coaches. They've talked to their families. They know so much about these guys. Let's give them an opportunity to show why they made the pick. Eric says, is Dylan RB1 next year? If so, do we try to move on from Jones? Dylan might be RB1 right now, and I don't even mean just because of the injury. I mean, we started this game basically with Dylan, and we've been riding Dylan, and that's been kind of the case. I mean, the last few weeks, almost this entire year, Dylan has been the better running. I mean, Aaron Jones has not really hit a big stride. Not that he's been bad. He looked good on those screen passes. He's looked good in a couple different facets of the game. But as far as just running back, I think Dylan is having a better year so far this year. So I don't know his contract situation or at what point we start to kind of try to move away. But the injury is not going to help. And we'll see how bad it actually is. But that obviously is going to be a bit of a problem. 7:30, I got to kind of wrap this up here. I need to be going to bed in a half hour. I haven't even recorded the podcast. So anyways, 17-0. Packers got it. Good to go. Lou, Adam,